Hello and welcome to our Where Health Meets Opportunity meeting. My name is Nathan Schooley. I am on the US sales team for USANA. And this presentation is an introduction to the USANA products and the potential brand partnership. So I'm excited to spend the next 30 minutes or so with you. And what we're going to cover today is four things. We're going to cover four topics: investing in your health, modern barriers to wellness, why USANA supplements, and then why should you partner with USANA. My goal is to give you enough information for you to be able to make a decision on how you want to partner with USANA. So after we have this conversation here, go back to the person who invited you or sent this video to you or however you got here. Go back to that individual and talk to them and ask those questions. What can you do to become either a brand partner with USANA, order the USANA products, or somehow partner with USANA? Does that sound okay? All right, let's jump into it. So, first and foremost, as I said, we're going to talk about investing in your health. And at USANA, what we believe is that true health is true wealth, right? When your body is strong, when your mind is clear, that's when you have the freedom to pursue what matters most. And then what we believe is that that's your purpose for you individually, that's your relationships, and it's also for you to be able to set your legacy, right? Your health is really the key to be able to do all that. And what happens now in the Western culture, at least here in the US specifically, is we tend to follow conventional medicine. And what I mean by that is we go and we go and we go. We don't do anything about our health until something happens where we don't feel good, until something starts to break down. And once something starts to break down, we react to it and we go and get it taken care of. Okay. Have you done that before? I know I have. I have done that before. But we also know that true health, we want to be proactive about our health. And what that is taking care of our cells. Our cells, trillions of intelligent cells in our body, they're working around the clock to help protect, heal, and renew themselves. And as they're doing that and we're taking care of them, they take care of us, and we are healthy. So, really, in a proactive sense, if we're taking care of our cellular health, we're making sure that we stay healthy. But also, we want to make healthy decisions, right? We want to choose a healthy lifestyle. We want to be proactive. We want to do things that are going to keep our bodies in a healthy state rather than just coasting and then being reactive when something happens. So that's the idea and the concept about investing in your health. You want to make sure that you're not just reacting, that you're being proactive and taking care of yourself, right? So that's the first section. This is going by quick. The second section is modern barriers to wellness. Now, we know the time that we live in right now, there's a lot of positive things that are going on, but we also know that there's going to be some consequences to things that are going on. And there's three things I want to focus on. And the first thing, if this hidden cost to modern life and some modern barriers to our wellness, is nutrient deficient foods. It's no secret that food quality now is different than it was 30, 40, 50 years ago. And also, we live in a very fast-paced world, so we tend to go for the fast-paced things. And those types of foods, generally speaking, aren't as nutrient dense as other foods could be if we took the time to actually prepare a meal. You know what I mean? So, food choices that we make, some of the food content just isn't the same. And because of that, we end up being deficient. I'm going to share a stat on that in just a minute. But the second thing is environmental pollution. Now, depending on where you live in the city or out in the country, you could be near some pollutants. Also, other people's choices around us could end up affecting us. You know, whether we're in an area where there's a lot of people who smoke, there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of other things that just cause pollution, and then our bodies end up interacting with it, and that causes stress as well, right? There's some negative aspects to that too. And then the third one is lifestyle stressors. Everybody, regardless of what your lifestyle is going to have some stress. I'll give you some examples. Kids, spouses, jobs, family, friends, no matter what it is, when you have relationships, there's going to be some stressors within those relationships. And when you have responsibilities, there's going to be stressors within those responsibilities as well. So throughout our lives, you can think through and kind of picture what it is for you. But these three key things are just hidden costs to our modern living. And what ends up happening is when we experience these stressors, our body's cells feel stressed, and we call that oxidation. And what oxidation basically means is that the cells are getting stressed, they're getting damaged, and what that does is it accelerates aging, it weakens your immunity, and it disrupts your overall health. So, what can we do to help protect ourselves from getting this damage? Nutrient our cells. Our cells need those nutrients. And I mentioned, one of those modern barriers to wellness is the modern diet, right? And manufactured food. So there's some nutrition gaps if we're just relying solely on our food to be able to give our bodies the nutrition. And we can see that in this stat here that 31% of US adults have one or more micronutrient deficiencies. I'll give you one specific example, and this is the only one that I know, so so just bear with me here. But vitamin D. If you know what vitamin D is and where it comes from, you know that it is an important vitamin. It is a micronutrient that our bodies need. But 90% of US adults are deficient in vitamin D. 90%. So this isn't even looking at vitamins A, B, C, E, K, all these other vitamins. Vitamin D itself, 90% are. And we know overall, according to this, 31% of US adults have one or more micronutrient deficiencies. So, what is that doing to us? That's causing our bodies stress. That's not giving our cells the nutrition that they need to do what they need to do. And what happens is, if we do give our cells the nutrients that they need, then we feel a difference. Our moods are different. People around us notice a difference. We can think more clearly, and those other things that I mentioned before about when we're trying to stay proactive with our health. So, I want you to just kind of think through right now. We've talked a little bit about it, but just a kind of a quick self-assessment. Where are you at? You can think a scale of 1 to 10. You can just think yes or no, however you want to do this. But think about from an energy level perspective. For you, throughout the day, where are your energy levels? 1 to 10. Are they high or low? Are they good, right where they're at? Quality of sleep. Are you getting the quality of sleep that you need? Do you feel anxious or not anxious? Are there certain things as you go throughout the day that you're noticing, as I'm going up the stairs, maybe my knees are starting to make some noises, right? If I'm exercising, maybe I'm starting to feel it in my joints a little bit, right? What are those things that are happening in your life where you might need to start being proactive so we don't have to be as reactive? Okay, I'm going to leave that with you. You can think through that. But as we're going into this next section, I want you to kind of think about this. So we talked about now the investing in your health. We talked about the modern barriers to wellness, and now we're going to talk about supplements, but not just supplements in general. We kind of talked about that already, but why USANA supplements and how the USANA supplements can help you get to those optimal levels for your nutrition. So USANA was founded on cellular nutrition from the beginning. It was founded back in 1992 by a doctor named Dr. Myron Wentz. He was a pioneer in microbiology and immunology. He was internationally recognized for his work in the human cell culture technology, but he was focused on infectious disease diagnoses. So he would come up with kits. If you know the Epstein-Barr virus kit, the test kit, he came up with that. And we still use that today, by the way. So he would diagnose these diseases and come up with ways to figure that out. And as he was studying the cells, he realized that we needed to keep those cells healthy and that supplements at the time were not doing the job that they needed to do. Okay. So he decided that he would stop diagnosing and he would start addressing what he found of needing to keep the cells healthy in order to be proactive and maintain a healthy lifestyle. So he used that research, the data, everything that he found, and he switched it up from diagnosing to being proactive. So we are founded on science. USANA is founded on science, has been since day one, and has just continued to do that from there. Now, also, USANA was founded on a legacy of in-house science, right? We have the clinical studies to prove it. We have third-party researchers, proprietary technologies that are specific to the USANA products. So you know that the products that you're taking are high quality and science-based, right? And backed by data. The other cool thing that USANA does is USANA gives pharmaceutical grade quality. Now, if you don't know the difference between food grade and pharmaceutical grade, if you're going to the doctor, you need to prescribe some drugs. Those drugs, because of how they interact with our bodies, they're held to a higher standard, right? That's pharmaceutical grade. Our foods are much lower graded. The standards are much lower that need to be met, and supplements generally fall into that food grade standard. So pharmaceutical grade high, Food standards not as high. I'm not going to say it's low, it's just not as high. And USANA has chosen, even though they don't need to hold ourselves to the pharmaceutical grade quality. And now, the reason why we can do that is because we have our in-house precision manufacturing. From the time that we get all the materials to make the products to the time that we ship the products out to you, we have full control over that entire process. And we do hundreds of tests all throughout the time to make sure that what's in the bottle is the only thing that's in the, or what the bottle says is in the bottle is the only thing that's in the bottle, but also every pill has what that bottle says those pills have. So that's one thing, and I think that that's an amazing feat for USANA to be able to do. Also, USANA has an FDA registered facility, so the FDA regulatory body can come in at any time, do a tour, make sure that we're running our facilities, that they're clean, we're running on GMP standards, that we can keep that pharmaceutical grade quality in there, that's cleanliness and all the things. Now, I've also heard not only do they do that, and we've never failed, an inspection. But also, I've heard that the FDA actually uses the USANA facility when they're training new people to show them what a building needs to look like, right? That's like USANA is the example that the FDA uses when they're bringing people in. So I've heard that. I thought that was pretty cool. I figured I'd pass it on to you. Also, there's third-party validation. You can see the NSF and other companies. They rigorously test the products, make sure that the USANA's products have purity, potency, and the safety that they say they do. So a lot of things go into the quality of the products to keep that high grade. And I love that there's so much care and effort to be able to do that. One thing I love even more than that is that athletes take the USANA products. Now, USANA partners with thousands of elite and Olympic athletes, which is more than any other supplement brand in the world. Okay. Now you can see some of the partnerships, you can see some of the athletes. I'm going to speak to that from a me and you perspective, right? It's great that these athletes who are working really hard, eating right, training hard, doing all these things so that they can shave off, a tenth of a second or whatever it is that they're trying to do to get that edge to get to number one, right? That's what their goal is. So if they can trust the USANA supplements to help give them that edge, and their bodies need it, how much more do I, who's an average person, I would consider myself average, I don't necessarily eat healthy all the time. I don't necessarily exercise my body to the levels that they do. So there's going to be some gaps in my diet. There's going to be some gaps in my health choices. And so how much more does my body need the supplements than what they do, right? So that I can kind of fill in those gaps and so my cells can get the nutrients that they need. So if I know that they can take it and they can trust USANA with their bodies, then I can trust my body to USANA as well. Does that make sense? Also, we have $1 million athlete guarantee that we've never paid out. So it basically, if somebody gets tested positive for a banned substance, USANA will, and it's from USANA, USANA will pay them $1 million, and we've never had to pay on that. Again, and we've been around since 1992, so for 34 years now. It's pretty awesome. So think about that. The Olympic athletes do trust USANA. We're also trusted by hundreds of health professionals as well. So we have this newly established Health Professional Advisory Council. We brought together trusted experts who support product development and ensure that our science delivers real world health. So along with the credibility of the products, now let's jump into some of those products and what they can do. The foundation of everything is the Cell Essentials. It's the daily system that helps nourish, protect, and renew your cells, right? The 3 levels of performance from one simple routine. This is what's going to give your bodies to cover those gaps, as 31% of US adults are deficient in one or more nutrients. This is where the nutrients are, is in core minerals and mega antioxidants, or vita antioxidants, excuse me. Now, here's the thing is when you start to take a vitamin, do you notice a difference right away? Maybe sometimes you have. But generally speaking, people will take it in a day and they may not feel a difference, maybe even after a couple days or even a week. So here's what you can expect by being consistent with taking the Cell Essentials. After 30 minutes, your cells are absorbing it, your bloodstream's getting it. Your cells can feel it, but maybe you can't yet, right? After 1 to 2 weeks, you're starting to see a little bit of a difference. Maybe you feel a little bit more balanced with your mood. Maybe you're sleeping a little bit better. Maybe you are feeling consistent energy, something like that. It may not be super noticeable, but you might start to feel that. After a month of being consistent with it, you'll start to see and feel ongoing benefits, which are support for healthy skin and optimal recovery after exercise. And then after 3 months, you can see that cellular transformation begins. You'll start to notice optimal levels in immune, digestive, cardiovascular systems are thriving. Okay. If you go beyond that, you're going to also continue to see improvements and notice that your body is reacting to the nutrients that they're receiving. Okay, so that's just with the cell essentials, right? That's just with the basic. Now, USANA has products for all of the body systems. Okay, you can see whole body health all the way down to mood and relaxation. There's something for everything. So if you're more concerned about the circulatory system, there's products for that. Healthy bones in the skeletal system, there's products for that. Seasonal, maybe even just seasonally, but the immune system, if you need support for that, we have that. Okay, digestive system, you can see everything there. Now, this is not everything because we also, on top of these supplements, on top of these vitamins and the nutrition for your cells, we also have food, right? This is the nutrition on the go. And as I mentioned in the very beginning, that's where one of the biggest gaps are because of the way that our lives are. We're fast paced. We need something quick, and the things that we choose sometimes don't necessarily give our bodies what they need. Well, this is nutrition on the go. You can get protein, you can get meal replacements, you can get bars, and other things to help your body get the nutrients that they need through food items. Okay. On top of that, we have skincare. Our Celavive line is an amazing skincare product line. Uh, our skin's our largest organ. And obviously, we want to take care of our insides, but we also want to take care of our outsides as well. And when we take care of our outsides, then our skin glows, it feels good, and we look better. Now, you can say that this is for the vanity aspect of it. Maybe there is a little bit of that, but if you're looking good, then you're feeling good, right? And you know that you're healthy. So I think for me, yeah, it would be nice to look good, but also it'd be nice to feel good and know that my skin is healthy. I'm just going to show a couple of different befores and afters with some of the products that we have in our skincare line so that you can see that, yes, it definitely does make a difference. Smoother, more radiant skin, reduced eye bags and dark circles. You can see reduced visible wrinkles on the neck and reduced dark spots and fine lines. So that is a very high overview of all the products. Obviously, I could take 30 minutes to explain each product line and probably even more for each one. But again, go to the person who sent this to you, go to the person who brought you to this and put you in front of this video. And that way they can explain a little bit more in detail and customize what would be best for you. Hopefully, while we were going over that, you kind of realized based on what you rated yourself earlier, what would be most beneficial and kind of the things that you would need, or you could see something that somebody could use. Okay, so as you're thinking through that, or if you already did think through that, I'm going to switch gears. So we talked about the USANA supplements. I'm going to talk about why you want to partner with USANA and what this looks like. So there are a lot of options, right? We have a lot of options in what we could choose, from USANA being one of them, to gig services, freelancing, affiliate influencers, small business owners, or you could be traditional employment. Now, the cool thing is, if you look at all these different categories, USANA checks the box on every single one of them, right? Maybe traditional employment is nice because maybe you like getting the paycheck every other week or twice a month or monthly, whatever it is that you get paid. But maybe there's not as much flexibility, right? Where USANA allows that flexibility. Maybe with freelancing, you like that there's flexibility there, but maybe you want to earn from collective efforts where freelancing doesn't allow that. So if you look at all these different categories, everything that there is, low barrier to entry, all those things, USANA checks the box. So the cool thing also about USANA checking the box in all these different aspects that maybe others don't check every box is USANA is in two major industries that are on the rise. And I think that's something important for you as you're looking into this to be aware of. Now, the first one is the wellness industry. The wellness industry has been growing year over year. And we can look back to 2022. We have the data through 2024, and then the 25, 26, and 27 years are estimates based on projections. Okay. So you can see that the wellness industry has been growing 7 to 8% annually and continues to be projected to grow there. Now, this is huge because you want to be in an industry that is growing because that means there's more opportunity and that means that people are interested in it, right? So, some key trends that we have noticed, let me see if I can get there, is one, holistic and preventative health. That's something that people are really starting to shift from, right? Now, we know that traditionally, as I mentioned, we've been a reactive culture. Some people are starting to catch on to the idea of not wanting to be reactive and being proactive so they don't have to worry about being reactive, right? We also see that the younger demographics are starting to practice wellness daily. And we also see from a business implication that there's higher repeat purchases, right? You can personalize your products. And then there's digital content opportunities as well within this industry. So there's a lot of ways to grow, a lot of focuses that you could go into. Now, some other business opportunities in wellness. There's a higher LTV. Basically, that just means that there's more purchases that can be made from customers that you have. Supplements and subscriptions increase the lifetime value of the customer, lifetime value LTV. Okay. Evidence-based products, right? Like I mentioned, we are science-based. We have all this data, but also you can see a difference and feel a difference. And then you can share those, and those narratives resonate with informed buyers. And then there's the digital integration, right? You've seen it on social media, people who are health coaches, who are fitness coaches, wellness coaches, whatever they want to call them. But you can also create that wellness and that content and reach out to people who you have influence over. The other industry is the network marketing industry. So here's some data points within the network marketing industry. 40% of US adults have a supplemental income stream already, right? So if they're working that traditional job, they have something else that's going on as well. Millennial and Gen Z lead at least 50% of that participation, and remote work is expanding its reach. Okay, so within the network marketing, we are seeing that that is also an incline. And some of those other data points are 73% of workers are struggling financially, right? The rising costs of housing, rising costs of healthcare, those are some big things in groceries, big things in the news right now. Costs are going up, right? Also, 44% say that a side hustle is essential. Where it used to just be fun to do passion projects on the side to gain a little extra money for trips or vacations or extra spending, starting to become essential just to get the basic things. And then 60% say life is unaffordable without income diversification, right? And 70% believe multiple streams of income that network marketing offer, 70% believe that multiple streams of income and network marketing offers this as well as flexibility. Okay, so there's some stats in two major industries that are both growing that USANA happens to be a part of as well. So it's not just a fad that's going to come and go, it's something that's steadily on the rise. Now, USANA specifically within this industry, aside from the check boxes and everything that you saw, USANA is a global brand that you can trust. It's been around, like I said, for 34 years. We're in 25 international markets, so we're operating globally. Within the US, we're a publicly traded company. We're traded on the New York Stock Exchange, so you can go see financial details, news, everything. It's very transparent, but it also shows there's stability and there's a legacy that you can trust as well. All those things are cool, and basically everything that I've said, I think is cool. That's why I'm sharing it. But also, I think this last point right here is probably the biggest point of all, and there's a consistent payout. USANA's paid out over $2.2 billion to brand partners over the past 5 years. Okay, 2.2 billion with a B over just the past 5 years, and it's done weekly. What that shows to me is that USANA has the money to pay. And that means that if I do the work and I go and I want to help people get better, especially people that I care about, but also others that I come in contact with, I'm going to be rewarded for that. And there's enough to go around. So why not take my piece of that pie? It wouldn't be taken from everybody else. We would just be expanding that, right? So that's the way I look at it, but that's an amazing step. So why not take this opportunity and elevate your situation, elevate your opportunity? As I mentioned, we have a highly competitive compensation plan. I'm not going to go into all the details about it. I mentioned the weekly payouts already. There's different ways, even as we talked about people needing different ways in general, there's different ways within USANA to earn money. And we have a high payout rate compared to our competitors and others in the industry. So those are three ways that USANA stands out within this competitive industry as well. Now, we also built the compensation plan for you today, but we also want to be around for your future as well. We want to be relevant, rewarding, and sustainable. And what does that mean for you? Relevant. We want people to see an opportunity where they can be rewarded quickly. It's simple to understand. It's predictable, meaning you do things and you know that you're going to get something from doing those things. And also, it can be flexible. We talked about that already, the flexible timing. We want it to be rewarding. We want you to be able to earn those commissions, and we want it to be sustainable. We don't want to just be something that's around for a little bit, give some people money, and then it goes away. We want it to be around for a long time so you can continue to get and continue to get and continue to get based on your activity levels, right? We have a plan, right? We have this stair step approach where you can start to earn, and you start by getting these bonuses very quickly, then understanding the base commissions, some matching bonuses as you grow up to the leadership levels. There's big rewards that you can start to earn within those bonuses as well. But ultimately, you get an increased sales, increased enrollments, increased retention from your efforts in the sales that you're doing, in the team building that you're doing, etc. Okay. A lot of opportunity, like I mentioned. Now, I'm going to again say, please go to the person that talked with you today. Because here's the thing, if you're watching this video and if you stuck around to this point, there's something in your life that may not be 100% where you want it to be. Okay. And if you are going to continue to do what you've been doing, you're going to continue to get those same results. So why not choose the life right now or choose an item right now to make a change, make the decision to make a change today. So get with the person that brought you here, get with the person that sent you this video, have the conversation with them, figure out how you want to partner with USANA and what you can do to be able to start making those changes, whether it's with your health, whether it's with your finances, whether it's for your family, whatever it is, so that you can have a different future, have a successful future, and that future can be brighter. But I would just say, get started today. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Looking forward to your successes. Again, talk with the person who brought you here and figure out how you're going to partner with USANA. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.